So next I'm going to be going over some general questions that are commonly asked during interviews. So the first one, the interviewer might say, what do you consider to be your strengths, and which of these strengths do you find to be most beneficial in your everyday life? So this is a two-part question. The first one is asking, what are your strengths? So me, as the interviewee, would say some of my strengths are being flexible. I feel comfortable in situations that require me to think on my feet, and I feel like I'm a great leader. I have a lot of experience using leadership skills. And the next part of the question is, which of these strengths do you find most beneficial in your everyday life? Well, the strength I find most beneficial in my everyday life is being flexible, whether that's on the job or at home in my personal life. I know and recognize that things don't always go according to plan, and I feel like I can act and respond to that appropriately, and it doesn't cause me to feel overwhelmed or frustrated or anything like that. So that question I answered both parts of the question. I listed off a couple of my strengths in the beginning, and then I took one of those strengths and talked about how it's most beneficial, because you really do need flexibility in your everyday life. The next question is everybody's favorite. What do you consider to be your weaknesses? So this question is tricky, and it can sometimes trip people up. What do you consider to be your weaknesses? So you definitely want to say something that is a true weakness for you, but then you also want to talk about maybe what that has taught you, or how dealing with that weakness has allowed you to grow as a person, or maybe the steps that you've taken to kind of reduce that weakness. So, you don't want to just lay it all out there for the employer. I'm late to every job I've ever had. I don't like other people. I don't get along with other people. I have a foul mouth or whatever. You don't want to say those types of things that can be really impactful to your ability to get this job or not. Maybe it's something like, my weakness is my ability to adapt to changes in technology. That's a common weakness that a lot of people have, first of all. So maybe that's something I would say. I have a hard time adapting to changes in technology. However, I'm a quick learner, and I'm not afraid to ask questions. So if I'm not sure how to work a certain program or to complete a project on the computer, I have no issues asking. And I feel like once I'm taught something once, I'm good to go, and I'm able to do it on my own, and I'm always up for a challenge. So I'm saying my weakness, not good with technology, which is totally the truth, but I'm also saying that while I may not have natural instincts to be amazing with technology, nor do I honestly care to, I am a quick learner, and I'm not afraid to ask questions, and once somebody demonstrates how to do something on the computer, I'm good to go. So you're stating your weakness, but then you're also talking about some of your strengths and how it can combat that weakness. The next question is, what are your interests? So that's a pretty simple question, but you also want to speak like you're a professional. So my interests are helping other people grow and become the best version of themselves. Outside of work, I also am a cheerleading coach, and I love the sport of cheerleading, and I love being an influence on young ladies and helping them become the best version of themselves. Another area of interest for me is exercise. I think it is a great stress reliever, and it helps me stay in shape and be an active person. So those are both interests. The cheerleading coach is kind of speaking about how I get involved in the community, and how one of my interests is helping other people become the best version of themselves. So that area of interest can be applied to a lot of different jobs, and is a good kind of quality. And then my other area of interest is just kind of a leisurely hobby, exercising, but it also talks how I use it as a stress reliever. So both of those are really good interests to express to an employer. But really, any interest that you have, you can put a spin on it to kind of discuss how it can be applied in the world and how it makes you a better person, essentially.